The views and opinions expressed by our host and guests are of their own opinion and experience and are not representative of their occupations, houses of worship, or any other intellectual property. Athens Avenue is not liable for its audience's adaptation of said experience over the next hour.
What is Athens Ave? Athens Ave is a hangout where the body of Christ can come and wrestle with our witness in the world that is becoming increasingly intolerant to our presence, to our position, and most of all, the praise to our God. What is Athens Ave? It's where we give a biblical worldview on life and ministry and seek to courageously respond to it as it's happening. You never know who you might see on Athens Ave. On Athens Ave, you're going to hear gossip in the pew. You're going to hear a fight in this corner. And on Athens Ave, we'll provide wisdom from the men of Issachar. It's always going down on Athens Ave. Make sure you make it right on Athens Ave. Hey, listen, that's still a bop. I was thinking, I was like, are we gonna remix it for like season 4? But that drum is still, still a bop. It's still bopping. So how was your week?
Week was good. Thus far.
Your week was good thus far? Well, look, I'm so glad to be in the number. It's only Tuesday, so technically we got so much more week to go. But it is October. We're still in the month of October, and I'm so surprised.
We got a couple of days left.
But still, it's the month of October, and I'm baffled at how the host of the show, the creator of the show, the ones whose vision this is, didn't shout out the birthday that passed of the producer of the show.
Was we supposed to do
what?
What?
You don't think that that's like dope to be like, hey, happy belated birthday?
Oh, that was last week. So you going back to it?
No, I didn't say nothing about it last week. I felt about it because it's almost the end of the month and you ain't say happy birthday to me to let the people know I had a birthday.
All right, and so
wait, hold on. Let me spotlight you. Go ahead.
We want to continue to celebrate her this month. Our producer, we're glad that she's here for another year. Hopefully that never year older would also make it a little more humbler in that process, so that and me, the older I get, the more I forget things. So I didn't realize it was the whole month. I thought like last week we was good. We did the Facebook, we did the text, we did everything, and yet the show had not began yet. So I guess we got to continue that on. So how about if I just sing happy birthday?
No, don't even try it. So anyway, guys, thank you, Dr. LA. Welcome to episode 2. Okay, so welcome to one of my favorite segments, everyone. You know what it is. I've got something to tell you. I've got some news in the pew. In the pew.
Ohio State's number 2 ranked football program isn't just known for their defensive line this season. They're making headlines for bringing faith to their campus.
I just encourage you to step out in faith. Whatever you're going through your life, whatever you've been through, I'm telling you there's a God that desires you. And so as we get into this worship, as we get into everything, we pray that you would see him as he sees you.
Well, you heard him worshiping and evangelizing there, organizer of the Ohio State Come to Jesus event, and former Buckeyes wide receiver Cameron Babb joins us now. Cameron, what a treat to have you on this morning. So you put out a Instagram promo video about 2 weeks before the event, and you got, I think, over 2,000 students show up for this event. What do you make of this, and how many were baptized? I heard that was part of it too.
Man, well, first off, thank you for having me on. But truly, I would say this was an event, if you want to call it that God truly breathed on. And it's just a testimony to really who Jesus Christ is and his great love for people, and the work that he's done not only in my life, but my teammates' life, and in Columbus, and really all around the world. So this was just a testimony to his heart for mankind. And so this event was truly to bring true joy and peace that I believe, and that I think we all believe, that can truly only be found in Jesus Christ, and bring it to Columbus and to the campus. And so I would like to say there was over 50 baptisms. I'm not too sure on the number, but man, God he truly did show up, and he delivered, he saved, and he healed a lot of great people that were in a hurting position, just like I was my whole life before I met him.
Talk to me about what you sense from the students that were there. What are they desiring? What are they looking for?
Yeah, I think everybody is looking for some sort of hope. I think the human condition, we want hope. You know, we throw around the word hope, love, all these different words. And I think those things that we're looking for, that we're searching for, can only be found in Jesus and his great love. We talk about the word love and all these great things. And it's great to say, but what does that really mean? What does unity really mean? And I think it's found in the cross. He says that he gives those that believe in his name and believes on what he did on the cross the right to be children of God. And so it was the invitation to bring so many hurting souls and so many people that are looking for hope and love in all these different areas.
Oh my goodness. What do you think about the impact that this young man and the rest of the believers are making at Ohio State University and abroad?
You know, I'm watching the video, and I'm waiting for the punchline. I'm waiting for something to be negatively said. I'm waiting for some misrepresentation of the Lord or of the word. And so I'm just waiting, because I'm sitting there like, I know this video is not just a video of college individuals, loving the Lord and promoting that amongst their friends, and it actually getting airtime, where you done said Jesus like 100 times on Fox and Friends. So I'm waiting to see, okay, what's about to go wrong or awry. And it was just a good video.
That's like your whole reason for bringing We Got Next in place. I follow Ohio State only because I didn't really know much about Ohio State. Shout out to my uncle, Larry Johnson Sr. So he's the assistant head coach there. So when I heard all this buzz about Ohio State and the football team, he was like a deacon at the church. When he was in State College at Penn State. So I was like, wow, I'm wondering what kind of impact the leaders are having.
My son is an Ohio State guy. I'm a Penn State guy. He's an Ohio State guy.
But I went to Penn State, so you know what it is.
Yeah, no doubt. But again, so I'm the impact that he had is great. To see young people on fire, man, it's such a joy. They got so much negativity, so many things that pulled them in so many directions away from the Lord. To see young people loving the Lord and serving the Lord and having the courage and the boldness to share the Lord is just, that was the best video you done shown in 4 seasons.
Oh, I'm doing good. Okay, let me hear what my big brother say about it.
It was powerful. I really appreciate that, to see that generation not ashamed of the gospel. The young man submitting to the Spirit of God and going for it. He demonstrated that the God we serve is big. Ephesians 3:20, not unto him who's able. And look what the Lord is doing in his life. I just pray that they continue on.
I echo the same sentiments. I mean, it was really encouraging to hear him so clearly communicate about the love of Christ and what Jesus did. If young people caught on fire like this young dude, what could happen in our cities, schools?
Well, that's what I'm hoping we got next can help.
Anyhow, guys, this was another great segment of In the Pew Up, and apparently that is the best one that I have ever bought in 4 seasons. Did you hear them? Okay, guys.
I did hear that. I did hear that.
We're going to commercial break.
Hold up. Now, wait a minute, guys. You know good and well that I'm not going to leave you. This is your girl, Mama Spitfire, a.k.a. Faith Stalker, a.k.a. Pastor Sone. I'm on the microphone. Yes, you can expect so many new things from our second season of Faith Stalking. We're going to be talking about trust. We're going to be talking about current events. We're going to be talking about marriages. We're going to be talking about relationships, friendships, your job. You may get some special guests, and I may even drop a bar or 16. Know what I mean? I'll see you soon. Peace.
One of my favorite segments I'll bring to the stage.
How many segments do we have? 4? She has 4 favorite segments. How many segments do we have? 4? She has 4 favorite.
In this corner.
My brother, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's good to see you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. I'm
good,
just,
man. Good.
You know, getting ready for these trips, and I'm just thanking the Lord for another day.
Should ministry change to cater to the shrinking church, or should the church continue to try to get bigger? You want me to go first?
Yeah, why don't you, sir?
Okay.
I'll follow your lead.
All right. Well, I don't think the church should cater. I don't think the church should cater to the church. When I think about catering, I also think about consumerism. And so I'm thinking the church, if they should cater to anybody, they should be catering to the lost. Um, and our job is to edify our members so that they can care about the lost and seek the lost and to go make disciples. So yeah, so that's be where I start. We shouldn't cater to anybody except the lost and trying to reach the lost. And if I'm not mistaken, obviously we should always try to get bigger. And bigger does not, for me, doesn't necessarily mean more members in the church, but it means continue to expand the kingdom of God.
I appreciate that. I would say a little different. I would say, I don't know if cater is the word, but I think that we should cater to for this season, because when there's a shrinking church due to like the pandemic and things of that nature, you don't know the pain, the anguish of the leader and of leaders and of the members. And how do we find out where they are struggling? Because now you can get more intimate with, you can see where the hurts are, find out where the wounds are, and then minister to. This can take you to a whole new level of discipleship that you would teach them as you are eating. Now you got to go and feed. So I think that element of it, where you're catering to them, you're hitting on issues of stewardship, issues of struggles, issues of suffering, marital, relational. You have an opportunity to minister in that regard. But I think during that season, that it's a good thing to do is take time out. I forgot the author of the book years ago called Body Life, where you're focusing on the body because of the fact, something that has affected it in and I use the era of the COVID, how it has affected, and there's a great falling away. Now you got to help people to rebuild and re-engage.
I respect that. I mean, I guess the word cater throws me off. I mean, because my Lord said he came to serve and not to be served. So I think that's thrown me off a little bit, and churches are shrinking because I believe we are in a post Christian kind of society.
Yeah.
Because COVID has moved, as we know, many people away from in-person worship. And I think, now ministering to them, edifying them again, raising them up, catering, I guess I struggle with, but
you stuck on, right?
Yeah, but I think there's, we grieve when we lose members, but I don't know if we realize that our members probably grieve when we lose members too. Like they probably, I have people ask me, "Hey, where's so and so at? I ain't seen so and so in a while." You know what I mean? So that they miss people too, and maybe they need to learn how to deal with those losses or to go back and try to retrieve them and find them. But again, what I need, and as I share with my body, like the body of Christ never should have that posture of consumerism. Like they should never be consumers. And so when they come, they're coming to be edified and to be equipped, to be empowered, to go out and evangelize, do what God has called you to do, right? Our God loves the world. He died for the world and for their sins. And so I think when I think of this catering, I think, about almost becoming internally versus externally focused. And so that's why the question itself kind of sounded a little
that might be I can see the struggle with that. And catering, I can struggle with it. But what I'm thinking about when I think of catering, I'm talking about, ministering to build, ministering to encourage. I'm trying to put a twist on catering. I'm taking it outside of the consumerism role. I'm saying addressing the felt needs of that local assembly that is shrinking and that has shrunk through the different reasons. And now say, hey, now you got an opportunity to get smaller so you can get bigger, so that the quality can increase, the quality can be better. You can be more qualitative in their discipleship. And I think that type of catering would be good. And even some level of vulnerability can be expressed and demonstrated, I think. But now there is a danger to it, because you can be like some people. I don't want any more people to be a part of it because we have such a close-knit situation. I think that could be the negative side of that. But I think I understand the concept of catering, and that would be addressing, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, I think we always should be addressing and shepherding and loving and caring. So so in that regard, obviously, we need to pay. We're not focused so much on the outside that we disregard those on the inside. But I think the idea that the inside ministers to the inside, that iron sharpens iron. Like there is a responsibility we all have on the inside because we are the church. Right. So I think that is in place, and I think it's when you start smaller, I think you can do more disciple. When you think about the Lord, He started with 12 and He reached the world. So if our churches had to shrink back down to a size that reminds us how important discipleship is, then that might be a good thing for the church.
It might be. And remember, in this catering business, the Bible says, teaches us that to do good unto all men, especially of those that are the household of faith. And I think pouring in and going out is a good thing. And sometimes you can abuse that text, but I just thought I would throw it in as a text that can be applicable to that situation.
I'm really thrown off by that word catering. I didn't like the word.
I know, right?
It's
a catering word.
I'm like, it reeks of consumer, country club, me focused. I think at the end of the day,
country club.
Well, country club caters to one's needs. You pay and you expect something in return. When reality is, the church is less of, we tend in the West to think of the church as a destination, when in reality it's a tool. It's a tool, and we're supposed to be missionaries. We're supposed to be going out, and I think Western culture, Christendom, has conditioned us so much that you talk about, should a ministry change and cater to a shrinking church? It's like, no, you shouldn't. No, we're not doing it.
We're not doing that. He just said no. He just said, you know what? You should have been up there and just said no.
All I see is somebody in a church basement making finger sandwiches, trying to adjust the heat and just.
Okay, you know what?
He just took it left.
It is always with your brothers. Why are my big brothers like this? Look, we're going to have to go to a commercial break. It always takes a left. We're going to a commercial break, guys. We'll be right back.
Are you weary in well-doing? Then you need some fuel. My name is Pastor Paul James, and I'd like to invite you to the 2024 Fuel Conference. This year's conference happens on a Saturday morning on November 16th from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30. It'll be at Ezekiel Baptist Church at 5701 Grays Avenue in Philadelphia. And this year we're going to do something a little bit different. Rather than having lectures or sermons, we're going to have a series of TED Talk style charges that are designed to take you closer to this year's theme, which is encountering God. That is, we're going to devote time to prayer rather than just speaking. In these difficult times that are divisive, it is so very important that we learn to encounter God. So to Philadelphia, New Jersey, Delaware, and the greater Delaware Valley, let's come together to fuel up so that we can encounter God together.
Oh my goodness gracious, you guys are absolutely hilarious. So we're back, and you know what? This is one of my favorite segments. So this is
Men of Issachar.
What you got for this? How can churches become, better stewards of their property?
Property, yeah. I mean, and that's one of those things. It's sitting right in front of our noses, I think, as we could talk about the church in America, but what is the biggest line item in most churches' budgets is mortgage, probably mortgage or maybe payroll, but between mortgage and payroll. But yet most church buildings, and I could be overstating, and is used, like it says, twice a week. On Sunday, Wednesday, you have the occasional wedding or funeral, and it's just like I just wonder: is this resource so underutilized? Because in many ways, I think we don't see it as a tool for kingdom. We see it as the end all, like we see it as the destination. And I think that we've got it wrong. The church should be getting dirty. It should be in need of repair because of all the stuff that's happening in it, all the people that's going in and out of the building. Man, what better way to show receipts for doing kingdom work than a dirty building in need of repair because of overuse?
Absolutely. When we know about the 4 Ps, you remember the 4 Ps?
Yeah.
That people are attracted to, and is people and personality,
place,
the place. And when I think about the place, you are able to utilize the place as a resource or a base to bring people in. When you use people to do programs to bring them into a place, you're right. So you could use 3 of those P's in order to kind of make it happen. So I think we have an opportunity to, in the church too, have an opportunity to dream about having a space, right, that you can use 5 to 6 days a week, that you can invite the world into. Right, outside of church service, to show them the love of God. So it's like, look at church body. We have this place. What can we do in this place to draw people in? And so when I think about mentorship, I think about food pantry, I think about Zumba, I think about having a conference, I think about counseling, grief or addiction. I think about parenting classes, I think about after school programs, I think about GED training. Like I think about, there's so many things that you can do, right? When you have this property to make it a community asset, right? And have people be able to come in and get that. Legal counseling. There's so many things you can have them come in and get, right? Estate planning, financial stewardship and seminars. Is a plethora. And I think, is one of the most under, as you said, utilized expenses that most churches have, that they don't use nearly enough or as a resource. Like church, the unchurched people have no reason to come into your building on a Sunday. I don't think, like, understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Church services for church people. We want unbelievers there, but the truth is church services for church people. But you got 6 other days that you could bring unbelievers into your church building to meet your people, your extensions of God's grace to them, and deal with some felt needs, right? And build bridges to lead them to your Lord and Savior, man.
Yeah, no, that's and I think you hit it there. The church building can be that oasis. It can be that place where these felt needs are served, and people will be more apt if they know that, look, there's a credit repair seminar at the church. I'm going to go there. And in many ways, other entities are shaming us. I think about a local worship center that's not a Christian local worship center in West Oak Lane right now, and I'm like, there's tons of stuff. It's like, yo, people are going in there. I'm like, yo, the church the Church of Jesus Christ can do some of the same things, and and this might be a little, well. I think we need to rearrange our thinking of the church building. A lot of times we're so protective of it. It's the house of God, when the reality is that God doesn't live in houses.
Come on now.
We have a wrong theology. It's like we got storefronts with preachers saying, God is like, yeah, he's here, but he's outside the doors too, and you can really use this building, outside of a Sunday morning. You can be a force for change in this neighborhood by opening up this space to be used. And God is here. Yeah, he's here because he's just omniscient. He's omnipresent. He's everywhere at the same time. But God is in you. As you minister, as you go to serve, when we come in, it becomes a house of God because God is in. We are the temple of God, the Holy Spirit. And so we've got, I think, some theological changes we need to make, some missional frameworks we need to create to see the possibility of using these places, for His glory, and it is right there in communities.
Absolutely, totally agree. I think sometimes we constantly search for a third space when we actually have the third space already that we could actually utilize for God's glory.
Hey, I can't say good points on both sides. I just have to say good points made by all.
Hey. But as a traditionalist, what do you
appreciate?
I really was hoping that he was going to expound.
Okay, appreciated tradition. What do you think about that, though? What do you think when we talk about using the building for all of those various things beyond church and church meetings and church services, but utilizing it to meet socioeconomic needs within the community and having just things like that take place at the church? What do you think about that? What do you think your people would think about that?
I've shared with our people that, and we're in a building fundraiser right now to erect a building, and I share with them the building is the vehicle to minister to people. So therefore on Sunday we'll have our worship service, but we're going to have times our church has adopted a school. Hey, well, if they can't go get help with the schoolwork at the school, they can come here to the church. We're going to look at having a once a month feeding of the homeless. Hey, we have once a month, we'll have a feeding, catering service. Estate planning, we want to do that once a quarter. So we financial issues. And so as we went through the process with the township, they said, you're not going to be having church all the time. No, we're not going to have church all the time, but we're going to be open all the time. So, and the idea is how we can minister to the community where we do that assessment. Hey, what do our community, what is our community in need of? Because somebody said, well, why don't y'all build a gymnasium? Well, we have access to all kinds of gymnasiums. We don't need a gymnasium, but we do need to have people with various expertise that could help in the area of financing, do a clothes giveaway. There are multiple things that can be done.
So in other words, you are open to that kind of thing. Yeah, that's
Thank you for cutting me off. Yes, I am.
Okay. That's
just let them do that backstage. We will be right back.
I've revealed some things and shared some things in us, and really some blind spots that we have when it comes to covering our wife in ministry. It's easy to say during your first ministry. It's a whole lot harder to actually do and function in that space. I don't think you can lead a healthy church if you don't have a healthy marriage and a healthy home. What you have is some heartfelt words and stories and transparency that I hope you can appreciate and benefit from and share with others. It starts with us being transparent, revealing where we are and where we come up short, and working on that together so that we can be a better blessing to the church.
We are back.
Absolutely.
Thank you for grace, right? We've had a very good season, but this right here, this segment is actually my favorite segment.
I think everybody at home is saying that at the same time now.
But it is my favorite segment. But guess what? Another thing.
What's that?
Did you realize the color? Is it pink? For Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
I think I'm kind of, dropping some hints of who we have for our next guest. But guys, it is our pleasure to welcome on the spot. We'll see you in a minute. We're back for my favorite segment. And it is on the spot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just read this bio real quick so we can get started. So this young lady is a native of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. She graduated from the Philadelphia High School for Girls. As I wanted to do that for a dramatic effect. She is a Bachelor of Science degree from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, IUP. She worked in retail management for several years before relocating to Durham, North Carolina, and she's thoroughly embraced and still relishes the warm Southern culture. She absolutely loves it. Currently, she's the office manager for King Orthodontics, and she works alongside her husband, Dr. Wesley King. They've been doing that for 30 years. Oh my gosh. They have two sons, Wesley II, he's 27, and he works with them at the office, and Sone, 26, who's in his 4th year of medical school. She's a member of the Sisters Network, the National African American Breast Cancer Survivorship Organization, # 12 years cancer free. She is the Diamond Life member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. She is the member of the Durham chapter of the Links. She is the auxiliary to the Durham Academy of Medicine, Dentistry, and Pharmacy. She's a former foundation chair for the Durham chapter of the Girls Friends, Inc. She's an associate life member of the Durham chapter of the Jack and Jill of America, Inc. She used to be the former chair. And last but never least, she's a member of the First Calvary Baptist Church in Durham, North Carolina. Listen. I just wanted to read her whole bio because we're celebrating her this month and her victories and all of those things and how God has blessed her. So I just want to say she also loves to dance. She's a part of 2 book clubs, and she loves to teach dance. She teaches line dance. Now, what? Oh my goodness! Look, I done told y'all her whole life. I know that my host of the show is really excited for me to introduce to some and present to others, none other than our big sister, Lisa King. Yeah. Welcome to the show. Yes. I tell you,
what a show.
Yes. But Dr. LA, I know you want to welcome your sister special.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, sis. We all wearing pink for breast cancer awareness, and have you on here as a 12-year survivor of breast cancer. And I don't want to talk about your breasts. So although I normally do the interviews, I'm gonna let Sone handle the first few questions, and we'll have a different discussion.
So how did like your process, the diagnosis, all of those things, how did all of that go for these past, what, 12 years or 12 years ago?
I was so fortunate because my cancer was caught early because I was my own advocate. I found my lump during a monthly breast self-exam, and I had just recently had a mammogram. So I called up my doctor and I told her about it. And she said, come on in. So I had a biopsy. It confirmed my fears that I did have breast cancer. And, I was a little surprised because I thought I was like, I had a pretty healthy lifestyle. But I wasn't shocked because my mom had had breast cancer. So I knew it was that genetic link there. And so, of course, you go through all the emotions, fear and anxiety, fear of maintaining a sense of normalcy for my husband and my teenage sons at the time. You go through your own pity party, like, why me? And then that didn't last long. And then it was like, well, why not me? Like, what better way to show God's healing power than to use me? And so I went through everything, and I'm blessed. I'm on the other side. And so many people call me. Like, there's not a month that goes by that somebody doesn't call me to tell me of their diagnosis or one of their loved ones and ask me to speak to them and just to uplift them. So if they're diagnosed and my always smiling face pops in their mind, then I feel as though God is using me. So that's another ministry of mine, and I'm blessed.
So talk a little bit about that, because you said you were persistent and you already had normally lumpy breasts and all those things. So what was different? Why was that so important? Or why is it important for us to also do the same?
Well, it's important because you need to know your girls, and I felt a lump that had not been there. And so I was all over it. They recommend doing monthly self-breast exams like at age 20 for women that are menstruating. Now, if you're in menopause, you still want to do it. Well, for the ones that still have a period, you want to do it like 3 to 5 days after your period, because then your breasts aren't as tender and swollen. But if you no longer have a period, then you want to just pick a day out of the month and do it that same day every month. And normally women will do it the first of the month because it's just a reminder to just check the girls. Detection is so much easier, especially for dense breasts, because my breasts were really dense. And you don't have to fight with the insurance companies to get them to pay for an MRI.
No, I definitely know my girls, and I definitely go every year. And that's what you're definitely supposed to do that. Look, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I know you are not covering your ears. He is such a mess. He is such a mess. But listen, just talk to me about like any tips that you have to reduce the risk of breast cancer. Is there anything that we need to be doing?
I'm glad you asked. You have to maintain a healthy body weight and a healthy lifestyle. Diet, exercise. You have to find fun ways to stay active. Like me, I love to line dance, and I also teach line dancing, which is so fulfilling. So I'm staying active. The best protection is early detection. Early detection saves lives, for sure.
Saves lives.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, go ahead, Dr.
Enough. Anyway, I remember when you were diagnosed, and it killed me on a personal level. Our mom and our dad got cancer, and then you got cancer. And although you might have not have thought about death, I had to think about mortality and you and losing my big sister. And that was tough, not just for you, but for me. But you were so proactive in your process. And then when I started going through, my struggles, you told me to be proactive. And, although the doctors kept giving me the let's wait 6 months, You told me to be proactive, and your cancer I believe saved my life. And when obviously when they finally discovered that I was at stage 3, but it was only because of me being so proactive. Those tips, those preventive measures, and that early detection is so critical, because the prostate cancer is number one cause of cancer deaths. And being proactive and being able to do that was huge. I know it became a ministry for you, like it became a ministry for me. Do you get tired of honestly talking about it and having to reveal that you had it, and the process, like how I mean, because you've been doing it ever since you've done it.
I do, but you know what? I dig deep. Every time I get a phone call, I'm like, and then I remember how I felt during that time. I called up somebody and was like, hey, and they were like, hey, you got this. You caught it early. Da, 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 da. And they gave me that uplift. We have a Sisters Network. It's for African-American women. It's a survivorship, a breast cancer survivorship support group, and it is just amazing. So women come at all stages, and we uplift them and we talk to them, and so it's just a calling now.
How critical do you believe your faith played a role in your journey?
Oh my gosh, it's major. I mean, your faith have to be bigger than your fear. I mean, of course, we all, when you get that cancer thing, you just think, because it used to be a death sentence, but it is
right.
It is no longer. Knowing, that I have the relationship that I have with Christ. It's not the fear of what's going to happen to me if I die. So it wasn't so much of that fear of, oh my God, what if I die? But it was the fear of everything else. It was the fear of my family, of my loved ones, of my young sons, of my husband. It's like, how is everything going to keep going? Because we as women, we're the will. We just keep it all going. And that's where the fear was like, God, please, I hope you're not ready for me yet, because I still have so much I want to do. And I'm glad that he allowed me to stay, because in addition to all those other things that I'm doing, I'm still like ministering in this way, showing people like, hey, I beat it. You can beat it too. You just got to be all over it.
One of the things they told me when I was at Fox Chase is how a positive attitude plays such an important part in that process. Have you seen that? Have you tried to invoke that in others?
Oh yes, because it's so hard. I mean, it really is. I mean, like I said, you have the pity party, the woe is me, why me, all of that, and but you just have to get out of it. I mean, you have to have a positive attitude, the affirmations. You have to have the faith. You have to have the support. You have to let people know. So many people suffer in silence, and it's just resources out there that are there. If you reach out and share. And like I said, I don't, like now people people call me all the time because they're like, oh, Lisa King had it. She's always smiling. Why don't you call her?
You're like, okay.
Right, exactly. It's like, I didn't really want to be the face of breast cancer, but hey, if it's helpful, but that positive attitude, oh my gosh, it is amazing. I used to have sticky notes on my mirror, like all over my mirror. Positive affirmations, and those were the things that just get you through, because you have that love, and then it helps that my brother's a pastor, so he was always singing all the perfect words, praying for me.
Our brother, as we both know, is now struggling with the effects of radiation from his throat cancer. We normally at the end of the show say, hey, say some encouraging words to those out there. When you go to your final words, I want you to just give some encouraging words to those who might still be struggling.
Once again, let your faith be bigger than your fear. You don't have to battle alone. You don't have to do this alone. Get on your knees, pray, call your friends, let people in, let them be there to support you. There was a quote by Marcia Smith. She said, cancer is not a death sentence, but rather a life sentence. It push you to live Live for yourself, live for those that love you, and live for those around you that really benefit from your energy and your life, your presence on this earth. Stay positive, stay encouraged. It is vital. It is vital. The mindset is vital. And if you're still just really struggling, consider a support group. Get therapy. Talk to someone. Talk to someone. It is, a lot of times in our community, that's not embraced. But we need to do that now. We need to tell people it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to speak to someone, because you have to be you have to be positive about this. You have to be. Don't give up. God got you.
Yes, it was a pleasure, and we love you so much, and we will see you later. Peace,
All right.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
So I almost spoiled it because that's your big sister and my big sister too, because I claimed her. I adopted her too. She's
You
mine.
claimed it, but biologically.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
And fraternally and
Yeah. Okay.
and,
Okay. I'm so excited about my newest guys. You guys got to really get excited. And yes, we saved the best for last. I'm excited about this next segment, guys. It's my new favorite segment. And it is, you want to introduce it, Dr. LA?
Well, the premiere. It's the world premiere. We got next.
What's good? What's good? Okay, guys. This is my favorite segment. And I know you're like, every segment is your favorite segment. Okay, well, it is. Okay, especially because it's the first one of the season that we are presenting. We got next. And I am so excited about these three humans that I have coming up. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce to some, present to others, my girl Alex. Yeah. What's good, Alex?
Yeah, what's up? What's good?
Yeah. Now I'm going to bring up Darius. Hi, Darius.
Hey, what's up with y'all? What's up?
And last but never least, what's up, Janae?
Hey, good people, what's up?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Look at the beautiful millennials that we have. Now, listen, y'all know how we do. I'm gonna hurry up and get out of the way. I just want to let you guys know what their topic is going to be today. So today, the topic is how to teach my parents to be tender and emotionally aware.
What's good, y'all? So we are here. Let's talk about it. So how to teach our parents to be tender and emotionally aware. First off, how do you even define those two things, tender and emotionally aware? Like, what does that even mean? Parents now, right? They're like, they get it, but I feel like they need to get it more. And a big thing I think right now with our generation is being so much more aware, like having a lot of emotional awareness and emotional intelligence for ourselves. But in my mind, it makes me think of like not people pleasing, but also but still staying respectful, but also keeping my boundaries. I kind of feel like that's where that's asking me. What you think?
I think our parents, and especially Black parents, Southern parents who were working so much, I don't think they had the opportunity to be human. And I don't think that they now know how to be human with adult children, because I think naturally as a parent, you're like very focused on making sure you can get out my house and take care of yourself, right? And I think because we are Black, right? We are Black. We live in a very a world where we struggle as Black people still today, regardless of how far we have come. And I understand how our parents wanted to teach us to be prepared for the real world as Black individuals. But I also think that there is culturally something that tells them that like you're not supposed to be your kids' friends, and by not being your friends you have to like keep this distance. And I think we feel the distance emotionally, because I can come to your house every Sunday and have dinner with you but still can't connect with you or still can't share with you. And as an adult, I can understand that if I was 12, but now as an adult we need to have like woman-to-woman conversations, you know what I mean? And I need to have like the space to do that. So I really think it starts with helping your parents see that they could be human, but then learning just how to communicate.
I think one thing that you said that really like hits home was like changing the mindset of a parent from I'm still your child, I'm not your kid. Right. I'm still your child. I still belong to you. Yes, you birthed me. You brought me in this world. You could take me out. Great. Right. But I'm grown now. Right. So
Good luck trying to take me out.
This tussle might be real. You feel me? Like this tussle might be a little bit more than you thought.
Do you have a vision of what you would want that relationship to be like, though? So if you grow up, and you're used to the parent-child, and now, okay, we are at an age where we can be friend and friend. How much do you even want them to be my friend? You done built your own life, and it's like, all right, how much do I actually want you in? Yeah, I want to have some more conversations, but I still kind of want to keep you at a distance, right?
True. No, I mean, each to his own. But I'm 34, right? Mm-hmm. So experiencing things like navigating fertility issues, experiencing things like navigating marriage, navigating buying your first house, like it will be helpful to have the wisdom of my mother and the wisdom of my father who has done this, and not just learning the logistics of how to purchase a house, but like the emotional turmoil of having to going through your first house and knowing like you ain't crazy. So like, I think we can have boundaries, but I personally want us to be closer than close. Like, I don't see why I want to be able to be my full self with everybody. And I don't see why my parents should be excluded from that.
But I think too, gender-wise, right? As far as Darius's life versus my life, right? I'm a mom, and I call my mom for every mom thing a mom could need momming for, right? So, but as a man, I feel what you're saying too, Darius. Like, I still need some distance because I still have to get my expectations of a man or what I picture me to be as a man, but you still might need your dad every now and then. And I want to talk to my mom. No, I'm not saying you don't need him though. I'm not saying you don't need him though. Yeah. But it's like, I feel like with my mom I love my mom to death, but I feel like sometimes I'm just coming for you to hear me, not necessarily fix the problem, but where does that line get drawn of, I just want you to hear me as opposed to just fixing my problem.
We've been told to you got to teach people how to treat you. And I think as adults, that includes our parents. We have to teach our parents how to be what we need them to be in this season. And I think that we as millennials have to realize that it's not disrespectful, and they have to realize that it's not disrespectful either for me to also teach you something.
So it sounds like you've started that conversation then already.
Oh, for sure. We wasn't
going to approach that, I just need you to hear me, or that kind of thing.
So for my father, it was very easy because me and my dad, people say we're twins in how we move and think. So it was easier for me to talk to my father. And I think it was easy for my brothers to talk to my mother, right? I think being honest, girl, look, you was rude.
You was rude.
And if somebody else said that to you, you would have slapped them across the face. And it took a whole lot for me not to do it to you. I said that to my mama straight up. Watch your mouth talking to me crazy.
And I think that respect, right? Because we're not kids anymore, there's times where you have to be like, Miss Mamas. Miss Mamas. I ain't talking to you like that. You ain't got to bring it to me like that. So I think it's really just kind of changing their perspective, their mindset. I'm still your baby. I'm still your little girl, but I'm a grown woman. I need you to respect me as such, just as I respect you as such, right? As a kid, you respected your parents a little bit differently. As an adult, I respect you because now I see why you did what you did all those years ago, or why certain things were while they were all those years ago, because now I'm in the same position. So I give you your due respect, your due credit, but I need you to do the same for me because I'm where you think of where you were in my position all them years ago.
I'm not a millennial, but this conversation was really, really good, and it kind of gets your juices flowing. So I have one question. I heard how Janae does it. I heard how Alex does it, and Darius didn't really tell me if he needed that tender and that emotional, because men are different. So I'm popping in. I'm serious. I'm popping in to seriously ask you, is there, and because you hear that all the time, men shouldn't cry and things like that, which I think I did not teach my child that. I told him, if you want to cry, son, go ahead and cry. Right. But that emotional part or that tender part, do you think that that's necessary as a young man?
I think it's necessary for you just to know that it's available. Like, so it's not that I
Oh,
need it, all the time or even frequently, but it's to know that, okay, it's available. And I don't, I think the most important part was just like, I want to tell you something and I don't necessarily need a response or I don't need an opinion on it. Like, I think that's one of the, my biggest takeaway from, us just having that conversation. And, recently I just moved out to North Carolina. So I'm away from both my parents and they trying to, keep up with my life and everything. And it's like, I'm trying to tell you everything, but I'm also trying to just be a man on my own and have my space to where it's like, they want to talk every day. And it's like, I get it. Like, I mean, I never had a kid and thankfully, I don't, it's a blessing to everybody that do. But, it's like, I don't like, for me, it's just like, I just want some space. I'm gonna talk to you when I talk to you. If I got an update, I'll let you know, but
guys, this has been insightful. I cannot wait to hear what the fellas have to say about this round table. Thank you so much for your time. I cannot wait to see you next episode. And of course, this is going to be my favorite segment, guys. Peace, peace. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Just for everyone that's watching, guys, this, as you know, this was the first installment of We Got Next, and Dr. Anderson and of course our other theologians are here to correct, to add to, and all those things. So this is his first time seeing it, so I want to know what you had to say.
I love the fact that these young people have a voice and that we're giving them a platform for that voice to be heard, recognized. Whether or not you agree or disagree with what you'll hear on We Got Next, I think they need to be able to say it and we need to be able to hear it. So shout out to Ali B. Ali B. Shout out to Ali B and her brainchild and the courage she had to write in and say, I think another segment should be added to this show to address. And shout out to us for being open to hear it and to do it. So I think that right there.
Shout out to you.
Anyway, so in my response to what they said, I think it's really beneficial to see a child interact with others in other relationships, other situations, so you can have a well-rounded perspective of who they are. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because when I talk to, my son, it's easy to see him as my son, as opposed to a 25-year-old man and having his own life and doing what he do. Right. So everything that they say or do, you're still thinking to yourself, if they do something right, you're like, what did I do to help them understand that? If they do something wrong, you're asking, where did I go wrong to lead to their failure, right? So we struggle to see them as individuals who did what they did or said what they did or said totally on their own, right? So it's always a part of us. But the truth is, and I hope they understand that we always want what's best for them. The problem is we think we know better than them what is best for them. And that's where I think the conflict comes in. Right.
Now say that again.
No, I'm going to say that one.
Say that again.
But seriously, we do. We think we just know what's best for them, and we want them to avoid all of the mistakes that we made. And so sometimes we can hinder them from actually living a life and making the mistakes for themselves, so they can learn for themselves and grow themselves. And so I think just hearing them and just seeing them will help us. Not only as parents, but when we go back to our context of church, right? This idea that they just supposed to assimilate into the current adult culture, as opposed to hearing their voice and having them identify their space within a larger space. So trying to figure out how to coexist with them, I think, is the journey that we have to take as parents and seeing them, as well as in the church, being able to see them and not just expect the assimilation, but being able to hear them and create space for their generation and for their expression to come through in ways more than just, okay, y'all can change some of the music or you can wear what you like. but
Right.
how do we begin to have a culture that they have voice and impact on? Because if we want to reach them, we need to empower them to actually reach them, because they're going to reach their generation. We're not.
Regardless, right.
That means we got to empower them within our services in order to reach their own peers. And I think that starts with understanding and recognizing and celebrating that they do got next.
Next week on Athens Avenue.
But at a funeral, backflips? Really? That's what we doing? Backflips at a funeral. Backflip, a grown man and a church aisle doing backflips at a funeral. I felt for him. And that's out of pocket. I'm sorry, that's just out of pocket. And we doing too much. It's too much. It's too much.
Episode 2 is now officially in the books. We had a new segment. We got next was amazing. Let me bring in the fellas. What's up, fellas?
Hey. It didn't
disappoint.
But you all were an interesting conversation.
Oh yeah,
wasn't it? I thought it was a deep one, wasn't it? I thought it was a deep one, man. Shoot.